Look at Kayleigh McEnany like, oh God, no way he is saying this right now. Oh my God, they all look incredibly uncomfortable. Look at this guy's face. No shot. You guys gotta check this out. Fox host Brian Kilmeade woke up this morning, read the Atlantic article talking about how Trump praised Hitler, and immediately thought to himself, how can I spin this? How can I be a spin doctor? And I want to show you the moment this manifests live on air, because it's wild. The Kamala Harris Rapid Response account posted on Twitter, quote, Fox News defends Trump, saying he wants the kind of generals that Hitler had, saying maybe Trump wasn't fully aware that Hitler's generals were Nazis or whatever. This may be one of the saddest moments I've ever seen on TV, because we have watched Fox News for the past few years slowly devolve into something that parallels a North Korean TV station that constantly praises Kim Jong-un and runs defense no matter what. And that will be the overarching theme of this video. The fact that Donald Trump could run our liberal democracy off of a cliffside, and people like Brian Kilmeade, people like Kayleigh McEnany would sit there and defend him.
Jesse Waters saying that Kamala Harris will essentially be paralyzed in the Situation Room while the generals have their way with her.
The two. And let's talk about foreign policy. What is her foreign policy? And this is where the president has his most impact. You have a lot of room to maneuver there as commander-in-chief. We don't know who she is. We don't know what she believes. She's going to get paralyzed in the Situation Room while the generals have their way with her. Right now,
Jesse Waters.
Jesse, I don't like that.
Figuratively,
Take
again,
it back.
have their way with her, control her, not in a sexual way. You're now having F-16.
Oh, he knows that he messed up there, and that's similar to what happens today, except Brian Kilmeade may not face the consequences immediately, but man, this clip is
going viral because he straight up defends Trump's German general comment. So just to lay the groundwork, this is the part of the article that describes what they're talking about. In the book, The Divider, Trump in the White House, Peter Baker and Susan Glasser reported that Trump asked John Kelly, his chief of staff at the time, quote, why can't you be like the German generals? Trump, at various points, had grown frustrated with military officials he deemed disloyal and disobedient. Throughout the course of his presidency, Trump referred to flag officers as my generals. According to Baker and Glasser, Kelly explained to Trump that German generals, quote, tried to kill Hitler 3 times and almost pulled it off. The correction did not move Trump to reconsider his view. No, they were totally loyal to him, the president responded. This week, I asked Kelly about their exchange. He told me that when Trump raised the subject of German generals, Kelly responded by asking, do you mean Bismarck generals? He went on. Kelly then explained, I knew Trump didn't know who Bismarck was, or about the Franco-Prussian War, but I said, quote, do you mean Kaiser's generals? Surely you can't mean Hitler's generals. And Trump responded, yeah, Hitler's generals. And here is how Fox News decides to spin this. Remember, you're a Trump-supporting family
members might be watching this.
What the president wants. And then you factor in the fact that he runs his own company, coming from the business world, the first one we've ever had. It's not even a public company. And then he obviously has frustration. And I could absolutely see him go, now, you know what? It would be great to have German generals that actually do what we asked them to do, knowing that's a third, maybe not fully being cognizant of the third rail of German generals
were Nazis. The way he starts stuttering shows that he knows. Look at Kayleigh McEnany like, oh God, no way he is saying this right now. Oh my God, they all look incredibly uncomfortable. Look at this guy's face. No shot. They are all looking at the sky while he's saying this on air. And the thing is, I agree with what Brian Kilmeade's saying, but from a different point of view. So Brian Kilmeade just said something to the effect of, quote, I'm sure Trump did grow frustrated and say something about wanting German generals who were loyal. Yeah, I'm sure of it too. We've had multiple people report it. But Brian Kilmeade is saying it in a defensive way. I'm saying it as an indictment of Trump. Let's watch this one more time, but let's look at some of the looks that Brian Kilmeade gets. And again, there's nothing wrong with stuttering, but the way he stutters in this clip makes it seem like he realized, wow, that was pretty bad. The president
wants. And then you factor in the fact that he runs his own company, coming from the business world, the first one we've ever had. It's not even a public company. And then he obviously has frustration. And I could absolutely see him go, now, you know what? It would be great to have German generals that actually do what we asked them to do, knowing that's a third, maybe not fully being cognizant of the third rail of German generals were Nazis and whatever. But he was frustrated with the slowdown of.
He was frustrated.
I'm glued right there. I want to see what happens after. I'm glued to the TV, and there's somebody in the response that says, look, The Fox host is just pointing out that Trump might not have been thinking about the whole Nazi aspect when he made that comment. He was probably just frustrated with not having his orders followed like any CEO would be. This is being blown way out of proportion. What in the hell? This is the craziest quote I've ever read. It says, look, the Fox host is just pointing out that Trump might not have been thinking about the whole Nazi aspect when he was talking about Hitler. Similar reply said, quote, hey guys, Trump isn't a fascist. He just wants unchecked power to run America into the ground like his companies. And he does so by praising Hitler constantly. I mean, the defense these people play is absolutely sickening. I want to show you this clip of John Kelly.
He commented more than once that, that Hitler did some good things too. And of course, if you know history, again, I think he's lacking in that. But if you know what Hitler was all about, it'd be pretty hard to make an argument that he did anything good.
And John Kelly makes a really good point right there when he says that Trump doesn't know history, and that's why Trump is so misled. Misled seems like too soft of a term. That's why he's so dumb and stupid, is because he thinks Hitler had amazingly loyal generals. He doesn't even know what Hitler did, honestly.
Donald Trump praising one autocrat after another.
Right.
We've seen him praise President Xi. We've seen him praising President Putin. We've seen him praising Kim Jong-un, talking about love letters. And now we hear about this praise for Hitler from, again, Donald Trump's longest-serving chief of staff. Yep. And talking about Hitler's generals. We also, by the way, just show how it wasn't political at all. 26 years before Donald Trump ran, Vanity Fair had an article in 1990, 26 years. No, so this is politics aside, no politics, 1990, where Ivana Trump talked to her lawyer about how Donald Trump would keep speeches of Hitler by his bedside.
Yep. And here's a clip of Chris Sununu being asked about this on CNN. And he says, no, he won't reconsider his support for Donald Trump. Again, these people would run our country off of a cliffside. Take a look.
Chris Sununu. It's good to see you, Governor. Thanks for being here. Hearing that,
you bet.
Does that change how you feel about Donald Trump and your plans to vote for him?
No, look, I respect General Kelly. I think he's great. He's got a long-term relationship with the president. When you get into these final weeks, it's all about results. So, of course, you're going to get salacious things said and all that. And I'm not taking away the general's conversation with the former president. But at the end of the day, just what that poll that your team was just looking at, independents want results. They don't want that kind of ultra liberal extremism. They want to be told the truth. They want to get their cost of living down. That's where voters are going to go. So it's not just a Chris Sununu thing or a General Kelly thing. If you're talking to the American voters out there, they just need a cultural change coming out of Washington. So, look, we've heard a lot of extreme things about Donald Trump from Donald Trump. It's kind of par for the course. It's really, unfortunately, with a guy like that, it's kind of baked into the vote at this point. So those last swing voters are just going to kind of push towards what's going to get a little ease on my family, a little ease on the cost of living.
When Chris Sununu says that extreme things are baked into the vote with Donald Trump, he's basically admitting that authoritarian Hitler-esque rhetoric is part of voting for Donald Trump, that that's what people want from him, and that's what Donald Trump is trying to achieve. He said, we've heard a lot of extreme things from Donald Trump. With a guy like that, it's kind of baked into the vote. He also says that the American people will reject radical liberalism while completely ignoring the radical extremism that he just admitted exists on his side. But when he says radical liberalism, he's saying stuff like access to reproductive health care, which has been the precedent for decades and decades. He's talking about more health care for everybody, like Democrats have been advocating for a while, more funding towards veterans and social programs that will help veterans and other people who have tried to serve our country. But of course, Chris Sununu will run defense for Donald Trump until the country is gone, and we know that for a fact. This is going to sound like a tangent, but this is very important what I'm about to say. A key aspect of Project 2025 is a Schedule F executive order. This is something Trump did during his first term. He passed this executive order that said you can hire people not based on their skill or the merit, but based on their loyalty to you. President Biden removed that executive order, but Trump is going to do that again because it is step one in Project 2025. So after Trump signs a Schedule F executive order, he stuffs our institutions with loyalists. He stuffs the FBI, the DOJ with loyalists. Then he begins to ignore certain court orders from the Supreme Court, from other courts, from institutions that he has already undermined. And then the Supreme Court will begin to curtail its behavior. We already know the justices on there are Trump sympathetic. They will curtail their behavior to fit what Donald Trump wants them to do. Then Donald Trump is controlling the Supreme Court. He's going to be controlling all of our institutions like the FBI, the DOJ. And my broader point here, if we take a step back, is that people like Chris Sununu, people
like Brian Kilmeade, and I can guarantee people like Jesse Waters, sorry, not John Kelly, or Scarborough. Where's Jesse Waters here? I had a video of Jesse Waters somewhere, but I can guarantee you Jesse Waters would run defense for Donald Trump. I want to end out this video with an amazing new ad from Eric Swalwell showing Donald Trump where he really belongs.
We were so worried.
They're eating the dogs.
He wasn't making any sense.
The people come in. They're eating the cats.
And he just kept getting worse.
They did dumps. That's what they call them, dumps. Big, massive dumps.
Gross.
In Michigan and Pennsylvania. All over.
We had to do something.
They will take the life of the child in the 9th month. Even after birth, they'll execute the baby.
You sound crazy right now. Then a friend told us there was somewhere he could get the help he so desperately needed, called A Place for Trump.
Person, woman, man, camera, TV.
Now he has round-the-clock support and can enjoy the things he loves, like eating cheeseburgers and rage posting at 3 a.m.
I know windmills very much, and they're driving the whales, I think, a little batty.